Oh, what is up, everybody? TheDoubleZTV's Windows Man, Double Z, whatever. So, I was going through Google slash, well, technically Bing, about all these weird things about a Michigan accent because I've had some people in the past, like on YouTube videos, at least for my old TheDoubleZTV channel, mentioning that I have an accent, which I personally don't hear. I didn't know there was even anything specific here in Michigan that you got one in. I mean, we can tell you got some from the South or the Northeast or something like that. But apparently there's some kind of Michigan accent and stuff with a dialect and everything. So when I was looking it up, I found a website that linked this article slash dialect map here on the New York Times. And according to the URL, it's all the way back from 2014. So I'm going to take the quiz and see where my dialect seems to be more related to. Because I'm here in Michigan, born and raised. So let's see, I think it's supposed to go based on every question as so, where your answer is more relatable and least relatable depending on each part of the map. I mean, you see an example here, like the darker reds and everything, most similar for dialect, least similar, ice cold and all that shit. So let's see what we got here today. Alright. How would you address a group of 2 or more people? You got all these answers. You all, sometimes I say that. You, nah. You lot, no. You guys, sometimes. I mean, personally, usually choose the term y'all. I mean, if you guys look at my Twitter account, you'll see me use the word y'all, even though I'm up here in the north and not from the south, but I use the term y'all. And of course, you see here on the map where it's mostly located at, like, people think of y'all somewhere around Louisiana and stuff like that. Let's see, how do you pronounce caramel? Well, caramel. How about you have caramel? Some people can interchange. Caramel apple. Yeah, I use caramel. So yeah, it's not like something's like specifically most found, but it's mostly up here in the Midwest and upper part of the country and everything. How do you pronounce the second symbol of pajamas? Pajamas. Pajamas, pajamas. So you could have jamas or jamas like so more like palm. Whoa, that's way in the southeast. What the frick? What do you call a small freshwater lobster often found in lakes and streams? Sounds more like crawfish of all things. Well, that's way. Well, of course it was going to be way in the south. I mean, Louisiana, Gulf of Mexico. What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining? I honestly have never heard of such a thing before, so no term. Yeah, so it seems like a lot of the country doesn't have a specific term for that. What do you call a sweetened carbonated beverage? We call it pop here, god dang it. Some people call it soda. I heard there are places that call it Coke, according to Company Man. I mean, never heard. The only term I've ever heard used for tonic was the band with that song, If You Could Only See. Great song, by the way. If you guys have never seen it, you'll want to hear it. I never hear people say soft drink around here. Not everything's lemonade or Coca-Cola. Huh? Fizzy drink. Fizzy drink sounds like something from like the 1950s or something like that. Dope? Oh yeah, I'm gonna do some dope, man. It's pop. And see? That's how we call it. How do you pronounce Ben? Where have you been? So let's see. Vowel and sit. Where you been? The vowel C, where you been? Or vowel and set, where you been? It's that. There you getting comfortable. What do you call the sweet spread that is put on cake, frosting or icing? I prefer frosting. Okay. Seems like it's more of a northern part than anywhere like below Michigan and all that. Call a large motor vehicle used to carry freight. This is tricky. It's usually one of the top 2 because, like, where I'm at with work, we see a lot of these vehicles. They're semis. Yeah, like, I think it's semis, like, I've read in the previous article, like here in Michigan, we tend to try to simplify things rather than like extend stuff, like get stuff done, like just like that. It's kind of like what are those kind of words? Contractions, I think, or whatever, where it's like you instead of saying cannot, you say can't. You know, just try to mush things together and make it far simpler. I prefer to call it a semi. Let's see, how do you pronounce aunt? Aunt. Vowel is ah, ant, caught. Ah. Yeah, it's more like caught in my terminology. Whoa! Okay, barely anyone says it like this. I mean, you got Virginia, you got stuff in the Northeast, Minnesota and the Dakotas, but everywhere else is like, well, nobody says it like that. What do you call an easy high school or college class? I never heard of such a dang thing. But it sounds like a blow-off. Like, I never had an easy class in freaking high school. I mean, maybe economics or whatever it was, that math class that I had in senior year. Although with that class, you had to have every single homework assignment turned in, or else if you missed even one, you failed the entire class, which was a terrible rule. Wow, alright. Quite the distinction there. What do you call a big road which you drive relatively fast? It's more of a highway. Like, I don't think we really call it freeways here. I mean, parkway, never heard really that. Turnpike, I swear I heard that before somewhere, but not here. I prefer more of a highway. Wow. What do you call the large wildcat native to the Americas? I think it's more of a mountain lion. Jeez. Except in Washington and Florida. Oh, we don't call that here. What do you call the thing from which you might drink water in a school? Pretty much a drinking fountain. You never know what's going to come out of that damn thing. How do you pronounce the words Mary, Mary, and Mary? They're pronounced the same in my book. I mean, Mary is a name, Mary is in Merry Christmas, Mary is in I want to marry somebody. I'm lonely and Tinder don't work. Alright, looks like Southeast Louisiana, Hawaii, leave... Well, you see the eastern part of Massachusetts, I think? You got New Jersey here, New Jersey, maybe somewhere around Rhode Island, stuff like that. They don't pronounce it that way. And maybe Delaware, too, wherever the fuck that is. What do you call something that is across both the streets from an intersection or diagonally across from you in general? Kitty corner. I remember this term, because we've used it before. It's all diagonals. What do you call the long sandwich that contains cold cuts, lettuce, and so on? I just call it a sub. Like, I haven't heard Griner and Hoagie except for that one episode of Drake and Josh where they're discussing it in the premiere movie theater. Hero, never heard of that. Bomber, no. Terroristic, no thank you. No. It's a sub. We call a traffic situation in which several roads meet in a corner. That's pretty much a roundabout. I think I've been on one before, at least once, when I'm heading north. And I think... Don't they have one in GTA 4? Like, where you got, like, that weird monument that's kind of like a square-like arch, whatever that terminology is, and it's got, like, a roundabout there. You know, that's what I call it. Call the area of grass in the middle of some streets. I've never heard of such a thing before. Like, I honestly never have. It's like, yeah, it's not, like, really native anywhere. What do you call a small gray bug that curls up into a ball when it's touched? It's a roly-poly. Like, roly-poly-oly. Roly-poly-oly. Call small... What do you call the area of grass between sidewalk and the road? Oh. Well, I know we got some out here, but... I don't think... I don't have a term for that, because, like, I never hear people talking about that. Ever. It's like, I know we got it out here around our front area and everything, but I never hear people have a name for it, ever. Let's see, what do you call a small road parallel to the highway? Ah, small road parallel to the highway. I've never heard of this either. Ever. How do you pronounce crayon? Well, it's pretty much two syllables. Crayon. Syllable rhymes with dawn. Yeah, crayon. Instead of crayon. Like, crayon. What? Least similar here in Michigan since when? I've been in this state my whole life, and I've never heard anybody ever pronounce it other than that. Can you pass the crayon? Like, what the fuck? What do you call the insect that flies around in the summer and glows in the dark? That is a firefly. Thank you, Breaking Benjamin, for reminding me of that. They don't call it here? What the fork? Traffic jam caused by driver slowing down. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's pretty much rubbernecking from what I recall. Hey, there we go. So it seemed like the dialect is definitely me for more of here than my home state. The cities that they say, well, let's see. Map shows your most distinctive answer for each of these cities. It's like Pop, it's similar to Grand Rapids. Pop, also Detroit. Kitty Corner is similar to Rockford. So yeah, it seemed like it's more a native thing for what my answers are, except my terminology is like, oh, we don't identify it like in Southeast Louisiana, parts of North Carolina, Florida, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, pretty much anything, a lot of stuff from the Northeast, but yay, at least that's accurate. So what I'm going to do is, if you guys ever want to try this map, I'll post the link in the description if I remember to do so, but then you guys can try this out for yourself and see what your dialect is pretty similar to. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, folks.